Where this week I am mostly sad that I didn't get a chance to go see Cocaine Bear.
Me too.
That is my
I'm not super
like
sad, but
biggest regret. Mostly because I didn't have time to do much of anything this week, and I know Will.
I have to show off my fish.
Oh, Luke got a fish.
I went fishing.
It's a space fish, and it glows. But we've learned that the glow is really annoying to the video camera. So
Cameras only go at certain
it's
frames.
24 frames per second, and
the light is faster than that when it's blinking.
Yeah.
So, or slower. I don't know how it works.
Yeah. So
it looks weird.
It does. New trailers out this week. I didn't see much. There was one that I sent you guys.
Johan Vic.
Sisu.
Yes, Sisu.
Sisu.
I'll never not call it.
That's all I can think of. I didn't even remember the title of it. I just it's Johan Vic.
This is a Norwegian film about what is he just like a sheep farmer or something set in World War II.
An ex-soldier who discovers gold in the Lapland wilderness tries to take the loot into the city. Nazi soldiers led by a brutal SS officer battle him. That's the IMDb description.
And it just reminds me of Nobody.
I didn't watch that.
Oh, it's a fantastic movie.
All movies done by the guys who did John Wick.
Yeah. Yeah. It just looks brutal and gory and hilarious.
I'm not opposed to watching Nazis get absolutely destroyed either.
Yeah.
Because screw them.
Always good.
So yeah, the Tarantino has a line in Inglourious Bastards and something about killing Nazis.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm in. Oh, JT wants us to make the camera frames better. I'm sorry, JT.
That was more in terms
technical
of
engineer. No, I know.
Oh, okay.
I know he's talking about the space fish.
I think he's talking about the light flicker thing.
Yeah, I can't make it better.
Going fishing.
Unless someone wants to pay me to get like a very high-end camera.
I'll pay you.
Okay. We'll work on it, JT. Luke said he's got the money.
I didn't say that.
Were there any other trailers this week?
There was trailers for the PlayStation State of Play.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that later.
But yeah, Sisu is the only other one I had.
Okay. You're saying you suck, okay. Brad, be better.
Bro! Oh my gosh.
You break something?
Yeah.
Look at that hair.
That's why I have a hat on.
That's why I had a hat on last week.
I got back from a 24-hour train trip.
Yeah, how was that?
Trip on the train, and the vacation was great. The 24 hours on the train, not so great. But I took a shower and did not do my hair, and like, I'm gonna put the hat on. So, JT, I'll try and be better for you.
Cool hat.
I won't.
Tyler won't.
I won't.
Okay, we have a couple games you guys played that you can give us some impressions on. Luke, why don't you go first with Atomic Heart?
I will go first with Atomic Heart. In school they make you put the question in your answer or whatever. Yeah. You know how often I do that in real life? Never.
It's kind of like in the spelling bee, they make you say the word, spell it, and say the word again.
Atomic Heart. Use it in a sentence, please. Language of origin. Russia. I played a little bit of Atomic Heart. It was on Game Pass. I probably wouldn't have bought it or played it otherwise. And I was like, what the heck, I'll try it out. Very interesting concept. It's like in the future in communist Russia. It feels very BioShock Infinite.
Okay.
Which is really cool. It is a gorgeous game. I think specifically the lighting is done so well where everything just like there's light rays and things glisten and it's super smooth.
Mm-hmm.
I like there's just long sequences where you're like flying through the sky in a car that's on a balloon. It was weird. But and I was just like, man, these landscapes look good. But
there's a but coming.
You know what? Let's delay the but.
Okay. There's still.
I thought the story where it was like kind of started and where I'm guessing where it was going.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed intriguing. But here's the but. Big old butt.
His butt. He delayed the butt by 25 seconds.
I just
delayed the butt by 8 words.
Put the good things together and the bad things together. Okay, and separate it by a nice big old butt.
Let me know what that booty says.
Okay.
It feels very along the lines of what that mouth do. I'm kind of concerned.
That booty says the gameplay just isn't that good.
Is it not good or is it not fun?
It's not good.
Okay.
I'm intrigued by what they're trying to do. However, and this is just a trend now, I feel like. I play an action game and the combat's just bad. Or a game has combat in it, say like something like Scorn, where it's like you carry a gun around, you gotta shoot things, and it's like, this is horrible. Can't tell what I'm aiming at, can't see anything. Whereas like this game, you have an axe, you have your melee weapon, you have a ray pistol and a shotgun. I don't know if there's more. You swing the axe and it's just like, whoa.
Yeah, I've heard the melee is bad.
And there's not enough ammo for you to just like shoot guns, or you like run out of energy. I couldn't follow the waypoints a lot of times. I was just getting lost. There was one part in the game where I like skipped past something and was like, where the heck am I supposed to go? And I just like retraced my steps. And then it was like, oh, now you go here. It's just like, are you serious? Like, just because I dropped down a little too early? I don't think you can have that much combat in a game and have it be that bad. Like, it was infuriating, and I would die in the game, and eventually I was just like, I can do something else.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't worth it. The two most important things in a video game when Luke does a review are story, which seemed good, and gameplay, which was bad. So, sorry, I'm talking in third person. Luke isn't interested. I'm even thinking about, like, The Last of Us Remastered came out last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the shooting mechanics in that game were fine. But they also just weren't updated from the version that came out in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
The Last of Us 2, great combat.
Yeah.
They did such a good job of updating it. And it's like the only bad thing about the remaster is they didn't incorporate the new stuff into the old game.
I think the gunplay in Last of Us is bad.
Yep. But it's like, okay, I'm playing a PS3 game gameplay.
Yeah.
Just on a PS5. Also, I mean, it's like the best story ever, too. So it gets passed.
Sure, it gets a little bit of a...
It's like, oh, wow, this is incredible writing. Yeah. And the other part that is just so annoying is the dialogue in this game. It's just constant. It's constant.
Yeah.
People just constantly talking to you. It's incredibly horny. Like, and it's on purpose. That you talk to this vendor, and they're like, it's like straight off the hub. Like,
oh boy.
It is just too much. And it's just, you got to talk to them all the time. It's like, please stop. And it's just like, should I just turn off audio?
Play it on mute.
I can't talk about the music because I don't remember it.
Oh.
Know why? Because you're constantly listening to people talking. And it's so annoying. When did the trend in video games become you literally have to talk to somebody throughout this entire game? So if you're going to do that, make it interesting.
Yeah.
Let's delve into the character relationship here. Why not? You tell me about yourself. Oh, well, this is why I'm helping you. Blah, 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 blah. No, it's just your glove going, bro, you suck at this. You're so annoying. Blah, blah. Let's go to the vendor. She's horny. Blah, blah, blah. This is a robot vendor, by the way.
Oh, no.
Like, you're talking to a vending machine, and they're just like, give me your guns. It's like, whoa.
It's interesting because, like, the reviews for Atomic Heart, there's nothing in the middle, right? So there's, like, it's either way down here.
Which is weird, because I feel like I'm in the middle.
Or it's way up here.
I feel like it's all right. The other part of it is Destiny comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
February 28th.
It's sandwiched between some things.
I was hoping my copy of Metroid Prime was going to arrive.
Yeah.
So there's just so many games coming out, and it's just like, maybe I will come back to this later. But
Well,
as of now, no.
I think that's the problem with 2023 as a whole, though. Like, we're going to talk about a game later that, honestly, like, it's kind of a relief that it didn't look.
So, yeah.
Because, like, now I don't feel like I have to play it, right?
Yeah.
If you don't feel like you need to play something, if you're not enjoying it enough to finish it, just don't. Like, it's okay.
Especially if it was free on Game Pass.
Yeah. I struggled with that for a very long time with books, where, like, I would start something because everybody would be like, it's so good. And I'm like, I'm just not seeing it. Yeah, it's just, maybe it's not, maybe it's me.
Maybe it's not for you.
You know what? I might talk about this later with something else, too.
Nice.
Because I also watched a couple shows this week, but we'll talk about that at the end.
Cool. So. Yeah, no, I've heard mixed things on it. My brother likes it. My brother is a huge Borderlands fan. So
dialogue.
Yeah. So Atomic Heart probably.
Sorry. It's not just dialogue. It's horny dialogue.
Yes. Borderlands is more like weird, quirky, like teenager dialogue.
Is it worse or better?
Nobody knows.
It's probably better than horny dialogue, I would think. Maybe it
just depends on like how the person's feeling. Like
that's true. Probably just a preference. But
I really do want to emphasize like how beautiful the game is, though. Like when you first like show up to the building before like the conflict like takes off, there's the sexy robots that you talk to, and there's just like the lighting coming through the window and the stuff like up on the ceiling. You're just like, everything looks really good.
That's always nice though, because you
like,
get to see the power of the new consoles.
And like I never like you're on a floating island in the sky at the beginning, and I didn't know that. And then you're like going down. There's all these statues everywhere, and it's just like, man, this looks really good. Then the combat started, and I was like,
oh no.
Yeah, I've heard the melee combat specifically is really bad. I hadn't heard the ammo thing. That's interesting.
At least the shotgun ammo, I felt like there wasn't enough because I got tired of using the melee weapon.
Yeah,
because it's horrible.
Yeah.
Also, the pistol is terrible too because it's impossible to aim. It was just, it's funny too because they're like they start off in accessibility. It's like, would you like aim assist on? Which is like, yeah, I'm on a console. That should be automatic. They got to crank that thing up to 100 though. My favorite aim assist I've ever gotten in a story game is Uncharted 4. Where it's like, you literally don't even have to aim your gun. Just pull the trigger. Enjoy the story.
Nice.
Awesome. Like, it's just auto-targeting. Just beep, 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 beep. Okay, I'll aim down sides for this one. But it just puts it right on their head. Beep, beep. It's like, do that, please, more often. Unless you're like a FPS shooter, competitive.
Yeah. Something
like Call of Duty or Destiny or Apex or something.
JT says something about a Jensen Ackles trailer.
Yeah, Jensen Ackles did the live-action Atomic Heart trailer.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that we got, Silver Lining, we got that out of this
Pretty
game.
Goofy. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, are you comfortable giving it a rating?
No.
Okay. How much time did you spend on it?
Like hours? 2 hours.
Okay.
Couple hours, not that hot on it.
Maybe less, too. It's just like, one of the shows I watched was Perry Mason this week. Mm-hmm. I'll talk about it later. I was playing, I was just like, I'm going to watch Perry Mason.
Good choice.
Great choice.
We'll talk about it later. But okay, Tyler, you got to experience Octopath Traveler 2 this week.
I did.
Give us some impressions on that.
This will be a much more positive discussion.
But, any big butts? Big booties?
No, none.
A lot of big booties in Atomic Heart.
Octopath Traveler 2 is it's technically a sequel to Octopath Traveler that came out in 2018. If you don't know, Octopath Traveler is much like Final Fantasy in the sense that every game is its own story.
Yeah.
So, Final Fantasy 6 and Final Fantasy 7 are different characters, different story, different world.
Right.
There's obviously connective tissue and there's little things that kind of bleed over. But they're different. So Octopath Traveler 2, essentially you follow, you pick a character and you go around this continent picking up other characters, and there's 8 different characters, hence Octopath. All of them named. Octopath is a what's the friggin' word? An acronym for all of the characters' names. That's all.
It is?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. They do it for all of the games.
Quick, name all of them as you can.
Name all of them?
All of them.
Oh shoot, that's hard to do.
A is obviously Arnold.
Ochette.
Oh.
Particio. Oh, do you want me to go in order? I'm not going in order.
I feel like it'd be easier.
Yeah, jeez. Throne. Hikari. Casti. Oh, this is tough. I'm not doing this. Going back to reviewing.
Way to give up. I love it.
So you go through the continent and you play these 8 stories. And in the first one, like, your characters didn't really interact much. Like, there wasn't much talking, so that was like one of the complaints. It's, okay, these characters are on this adventure together, but they don't ever acknowledge the other people.
Mm-hmm.
And this one they do. And that is a huge quality of life update that just makes the game feel more, I don't know, enjoyable. Like, if you do a good combo in a fight, like, your character will be like, nice hit, Particio. Like there's little things like that just make it feel more alive. They added a game speed for battling. So in the first one, like, there's one speed, you play the game at that speed. In this one, you can make it happen faster because it's a turn-based game. JT says JRPGs for the win. Yes, it is a JRPG, so go into that knowing it. A lot of really cool updates to the combat system. They added latent powers, which I think are fantastic. New synergies amongst characters. It's just a really fun kind of love letter to JRPGs. I feel like every JRPG that comes out, that's kind of their thing that they say.
Mm-hmm.
But this one truly feels like it has a little bit of everything in it. And I'm not a huge JRPG fan, but it's definitely a genre that's growing on me recently. As I've gotten a little bit older, I think I have an affinity for more things that I can sink time into, but I don't feel like if I don't play them, I miss something.
Sure.
I can play it at my own pace, and that just feels really good. I see that Baroque is waiting for his collector's edition of OT. Are you saying your collector's edition of OT1 to arrive?
Oh, no, OT2. OT2.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. Got it. Hopefully you get it, man. That's awesome. I'm jealous that you got that.
I'm curious what comes with the collector's edition.
Is it a space fish?
But
No.
there's some updated graphics
That would be awesome.
that look really good. It's an HD like 2.5 game, so it's like pixelated and
Yeah.
but they've added just little things to that too. Like weapons have their own sprites now.
Ooh.
But all of the art for this game is fantastic. But the thing that I think will always stand out to me the most in Octopath is the music. And in this game, they've added a day and night cycle. There wasn't one in the first one, which also every game needs to implement the day and night cycle as they have. You know how like in Hogwarts you have to wait for night?
Yeah.
In this, you just click the right trigger and it switches to night.
That's
Fantastic. Obviously, this is
Your mind,
looks
guys.
like that, so you
Yeah,
can do
yeah.
it.
There's a little different.
But it just makes it so much easier. Like, it doesn't make going to nighttime things feel like a chore. Like,
Right.
it's just such a great little quality of life change, and they've done so many of those. I highly recommend Octopath if you're into JRPGs. If you loved Final Fantasy VI and never felt like you got to, capitalize on that, this is very much made in that spirit. It's phenomenal. It's in my opinion, way better than the first game. The
Nice.
quality of life changes are just so critical. One of the things too, Luke, I know you don't love games that are overly difficult. In this, there's a lot you can explore a lot in this game, and there's no difficulty settings. But one of the things they do, and if you don't know this, just a tip: when you're going through dungeons, torches always light the path to your objective. So if you want to explore, go off the torch path. If you want to follow the objective, stay on the torch path. Such nice things. But every character has path actions that you can do during the day. They're different at night. Throne is the thief. That's who I started with. So she's my quote-unquote main character. During the day, she can steal from people. At night, she can knock them out. Ambush them.
Judo chop.
Yes. But no, story is way better this go round for all of the intro chapters that I've played so far. I'm just much more invested in these characters than I was in the first ones. The pace at which you kind of move through things is so much more palatable than the first game. I'm having a really good time with it. It's interesting. I didn't think I'd find something that would pull me away from Hogwarts, but this is doing that. And not because Hogwarts isn't fun for me right now or anything like that. It's just, this is so good. And I just want to spend more time with it. And it's making me play my Switch again, which I played it for Pokemon, but I put Pokemon down for a while and then came back to it just to finish it. Yeah, it's really fun. I highly recommend it. I'm obviously not going to give it a rating yet. I've spent about 5-ish hours with it so far. Basically, my car ride to Oklahoma City and back.
Nice, yeah.
But if you're into JRPGs, or if you passed on Octopath Traveler 1 and you weren't sure, Octopath Traveler 2, you can play it without playing the first one. It's really good. It feels great to play. The combat system's deep and engaging. It's got its own little puzzle system in there as well. Highly, highly recommend it.
Sweet.
Won't give it a rating until I'm probably 20 hours in.
That's safe.
Because it's a JRPG and it's probably going to take like 70 to beat it. So.
Yeah.
Just
okay.
the main quest, probably.
For one character, yeah.
Yeah.
There's 8 of those.
Yeah, there's 8, yeah.
No,
it's
560 hours.
What about news? There's a few big things. I think let's end on the Sony State of Play stuff.
Cool. I got 2 Xbox ones.
Yeah, hit me.
So Forza Horizon 5's next expansion has been announced. It is called Rally Adventure. It's coming out March 29th. I love the off-road racing in Horizon, so I'm so down for more of it. I'm excited for its own rally world. You can build your own rally cars. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to that.
Awesome.
And then the other one I have is the Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition. It's coming out March 7th. It'll be a next-gen update. I'm assuming it'll be free with Game Pass. Great game. I'm definitely going to go back to it, I think, to see what the next gen feels like. Cause I remember playing it when it came out. I was like, oh, man, this is fun, but it feels a little old, a little framey. I'd like to, if it's running smoother, I feel like it'd be an even more enjoyable experience. So, that's exciting.
Cool. Luke?
The only news story I have is the WB Embrace announcement. It's not even really clear what they're doing. They're doing more Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, so Warner Brothers signed a deal to be able to make more Lord of the Rings movies.
What movies?
It's kind of up in the air.
I've got a couple ideas.
They've talked about it not being a retread of The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings in terms of they're not necessarily remaking those. That hasn't been explicitly stated, but they've kind of leaned their talking points towards, we really respect and love these things that Peter Jackson and team New Line created 20 years ago, and we're embracing that legacy.
Embrace.
And not wanting to kind of walk on it. I don't know what you do.
I mean, the only rights that anybody is ever allowed to is Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, right? Because that's like the same thing with Amazon. It's like they have to make their own story because they're not allowed Silmarillion or whatever it's called.
Silmarillion.
I was close.
I'm not 100% sure if they're, what outside of Lord of the Rings and appendices like they have access to. I really hope they don't do the spin-off. Luke had some.
You didn't like
ones.
my pitches?
Luke had some.
I don't like
pitches.
them, but also I kind of like.
Yeah. What was one of them?
Here I'll read my messages that I sent, and then I have an extra one that I also have, but it was like the next day, and it's too late. The joke is dead.
I kind of wanted like a thread of these.
I know, right?
I thought they were pretty funny.
I sent them like right before I left work.
You know what it reminded me of?
The long drive home.
Teen Titans Go to the Movies trailers. That's all I could think about. Like the Alfred trailer.
Yeah.
It just was killing me. I was like, "Oh, these are so good. We need these."
Let's see, when was
Let's plug them into AI and make AI make them videos.
Oh, yes.
The first one was obvious. This is the one you start with. It's a recognizable character. You know the hero. Now learn where he came from. Coming November 2027, Strider. AKA Aragorn. Hey, that's exactly what you said. The throw up emoji after that.
I did, didn't I?
Thank you for continuing the
being
thread.
Consistent,
This next one is honestly, it would be a passion project for myself. And I feel like it would redefine a lot of the Lord of the Rings media entertainment that we've gotten. So it's very different. Abandoned at the gates of Moria. He's back for blood. Next summer, he arrives. Bill the pony.
That's the one.
The last one is... For he much desires to speak with him. Celeborn. He just wants to talk to Gandalf, man.
I'd appreciate the Mouth of Sauron, a spinoff about him.
How he got all those cuts in his lip.
Yeah,
It's like, bro,
Missing
get some
chapstick.
chopstick, bro. Golly.
And then I need something. If we're gonna get Bill the Pony, we've got to get a Shadowfax prequel as well. So, where did the Lord of Horses come from? Find out next summer. I'm bad at pitches, guys. We'll let Luke keep doing those. Anyways, yeah, that'll
next summer.
That'll be really interesting. I kind of hope. JT, I want a Rohan story, and the story of when the Westfall fell.
Here we go, though. Here we go. There is a Riders of Rohirrim anime coming out.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I think is awesome.
Yep.
Lord of the Rings anime? Yes, please.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
I did too. Rohan's ripe for storytelling. I think Gondor there's opportunity there, but I think with what the Amazon series is doing, I don't think we need more. Necessarily. You could do something with the wizards. Again, I think
Bombadil?
Tom Bombadil. Bombadil.
No, once again, I was close. A lot closer than Skritta Majigger.
The Silmarillion.
Oh, okay, I wasn't that close on that one. Symbolarian.
I would
Closer.
be okay
Closer,
if
much
we I don't know. There's opportunities to explore stories still in Middle Earth. I just don't want them necessarily to feel like spin-offs of the movies.
Let's just not get crazy.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
Don't release something every year. Space these out.
You could do a Bjorn and Luthien story. That could be
Is that the bear guy?
Yeah. No. Yes. No. It's not Bjorn and Luthien. What is it? It's Bjorn's the bear. Oh, now I'm frustrated with myself.
Bill Bombardier.
I put away my Lord of the Rings
and
books.
Luthien.
I don't have my reference material.
Mine are on my desk that I work from home at, and I just look over at them like...
Everything I know about Lord of the Rings is from the movies.
It's not Bjorn. What is it? It's gonna kill me.
We'll just look it up when you're done here.
Okay. Anyways,
I thought the interesting thing about that story is I guess Peter Jackson's in the loop on all of this.
Yeah, and his writer buddies.
So he's
Baron and Luthien. Ugh.
He's obviously somewhat going to be around.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, I think I would be excited to see him do like an executive producer role. Maybe
I would bet that's what he'll do.
Maybe he picks one movie that's a story that he really wants to do. He's not doing no more trilogies.
He's gonna become the Feige of Lord of the Rings.
It's almost killed him twice. But I think he's got the chops to executive produce and keep things kind of on the straight and narrow,
You'll have
so to say.
Kevin Feige at Marvel, James Gunn at DC, and Peter Jackson for Middle Earth. It's like, what?
I'm just nervous that it's gonna be like how Star Wars and Marvel and DC even will become. It's just like, oh, yep, it's another one.
Yep, it's a franchise. Just keep pumping.
Do I have to watch the spin-off show for this one, or? And that's not even the Amazon stuff. That's like separate.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's like
no idea.
It's also just kind of like, I know a lot of people don't like the Amazon series. I loved it. It was one of my favorite shows last year.
Yeah,
it's like, how many times will it be good?
Yeah.
Baroque. Treebeard, the quest for the Entwives. Yes.
Now we're talking.
Where did they go? Dude, there's some cool stuff. If they could get access to some of the first or second age stories, they could do some balls to the walls.
You know what I kind of wish they would do?
Things.
I kind of wish they would just do a Star Wars Visions.
That would be dope AF.
Animated anthology. Here's some stories that from the Middle Earth verse that didn't make the movies or can be explained. Listen, I'm just spitballing here. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
The Tolkien verse, jeez. And you can get
Doesn't need to
different
be a verse.
animation styles.
Doesn't need to be a verse. It's just from Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Stories
No.
from Middle Earth. We can leave it there.
We got to name it now so we can take credit for it before somebody does something even worse. But yeah, do a Star Wars Visions. I think that would work.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be really fun.
That'd be really
I don't need a 3-hour movie for all these. And
No.
you just know they're all going to be that long, probably.
Big epics.
Yeah, probably.
I think legitimately a Treebeard where the Entwives at animated 40-minute thing would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Bombadil 45-minute thing. Did I get it right?
No.
Gosh dang
The
it!
problem with doing a 40-minute thing with Tom Bombadil is that Tom Bombadil is immortal. He's been around.
Oh, it's Tom.
Yes.
He's been around forever. He's there at the beginning of time and at the end, and everyone's like, what the is this guy's deal? And no one knows. The gods are I don't know what's going on.
The best part is his name is Bombadil.
Bill Bombadil.
He just likes to live in the forest and sing some songs.
Homeboy is chiefed up all the time.
Okay, maybe don't make it about him, but have him in one where he meets a young hobbit traveler, and they're just I'm in the forest singing as well, and they make a tune together.
There you go.
I'm down.
And then they get
music
attacked by
Star Wars Visions episode.
Yeah,
that?
the musical one, the rock,
Yeah,
rock
when they make
anthem
the rock
to save
band.
the galaxy.
And then
Same kind of vibes.
Then they get attacked by wolves, and Bombadil is I got this. Jewel chop,
Just slaps.
And the hobbit's just whoa, I'm over here making music with not God, but maybe somebody who's as powerful. Then they'll be buddies.
Yes. Great, yes, Baroque. 40 minutes of singing and rhyming. I'm
There
in.
you go.
And then JT talked about
The
how
Rangers from Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, the Rangers are a great, I think, source of stories. I just leave Strider out of it as much as you can.
Yeah.
Get it
It's
in
not
November
about
for-
Aragorn. It's about that company. I don't know if they'll go into it in the Amazon show, but the whole. This could get complicated with, the way things are in the world right now. But the whole colonization of Middle Earth by Numenorian men, it's pretty interesting, and there's some interesting back and forth. I think Amazon has kind of the rights to most of those stories. I'm just not sure how much of they're gonna actually explore.
I think in 2024, I'm just gonna dive into Tolkien as that's my yearly reading project.
Heck yes.
I'm just gonna read nothing but Lord of the
Heck
Rings
yes.
stories.
Please.
I'm probably going to continue to read absolutely nothing. Oh, except for another 2 chapters in Dune.
I don't know if they again.
2 a year.
There's just there's a problem with I don't know what they have access to, but some of the stuff that Christopher Nolan has written, that are kind of excerpts
Tolkien?
from So
You said Nolan.
Christopher.
I was like, wait.
Christopher
time out.
Tolkien. Christopher Tolkien.
Okay. I'm on
has,
the same page now.
has written some expanded versions of some of those stories, like the Fall of Gondolin, or the War of Wrath, or the War of the Ring. I guess War of the Ring is technically what we're gonna be going into in the
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power, but especially Fall of Gondolin, I think that would be awesome. That's some first age stuff that no one knows anything about, but it's dope.
I'm just over here imagining what a Christopher Nolan Lord of the Rings movie would be like now.
Oh boy,
It would be. About,
I'm not saying I want it. I'm just imagining what it'd
about
be like.
Tom Bombadil.
It would
because
probably.
time. You could play with time.
You could play with time. Yeah.
Tom Bombadil.
I mean, most of the
Or
to
it would just
fair,
be a
most of the
non-linear
characters
war
in
movie.
Lord of the Rings are immortal to semi-immortal.
Is that why it's called the Similarian?
Exactly, you nailed it.
Dude, these
Perfect.
words suck.
Okay, well, this has been Lord of the Ring talk. One last little news story before we hop into Sony State of Play.
Join our Patreon so you can get more Lord of the Ring episodes.
We have a
every month.
Patreon!
Shut up, Luke. Last questions.
Cash App Tyler.
The Oscar
don't do
Best
that.
Picture nominees are playing in Regal this weekend.
Oh! You just reminded me. DraftKings, you can bet on the Oscars in Kansas now.
What?
It's a done deal.
Don't gamble. It's not worth it.
I found it last night. I was like, oh my gosh.
Is there like
awesome.
they give you money at the start thing like for football?
I can give you the reference code for like $100.
Okay,
or
then I'll
whatever.
do it. I don't want to use my real money.
You have to put like $5 in.
Dude, I'm going all in on Avatar.
I think it had pretty good odds. Keep going. I'll look.
Anyways, so at Regal, if you haven't seen any of those and you want to catch them in theaters on the big screen, feel free.
I think
JT, this is the fault of humanity.
Also, RRR is going to be in theaters.
Yeah.
Some places, I think.
Select theaters. I don't know if they've released a list yet.
This is my favorite movie of the year. I really recommend you see it. I bet it's even better in theaters.
Currently on Netflix.
Yes.
But maybe coming to a theater near you. Coming to some theaters near some people.
Please.
Chances are some of our listeners are near one of those theaters.
If I only had an option between seeing RRR in theaters and making it to Creed 3 this weekend, and I had to pick one, I would go see RRR.
That does not surprise me, sir. That does not surprise me at all. Okay. Sony State of Play happened this weekend, and we got some new trailers and news on some games coming out this year. Luke, you're kind of our...
You know, it did happen. It happened. It
I
happened.
know you were watching for at least one thing, which is Destiny stuff, but there was other things in there.
It happened.
It happened.
And I'll just mention the Destiny launch trailer they had in there. It was awesome. Freaking Traveler shot a laser. It was so cool. I'm super excited for Destiny. Can't wait. The rest of the State of Play, at least in my opinion, because I don't care about Resident Evil, was just noise in my earbuds, honestly.
There they are, my friend. There they are. Best Picture. Avatar has plus 8,000 odds.
Is that good?
Yeah. So if you put $5 on that, you win $400.
Okay.
It's not winning Best
And
Picture, sir.
your free bet is like $25. So if you were to place that, you would make. Here, I don't want to do the math in my head. So
Okay.
you would make $2,000.
Let's do it. There was a bunch of VR stuff at the State of Play. Honestly, some of it looked kind of interesting, but also it's VR.
Dude, now that I have a PlayStation, I am like slightly more intrigued in with VR.
The problem is it's like $800.
It's very expensive to get into. It won't be for a while, but
That's a lot of money to play Beat Saber.
right. Yeah.
You could go buy an Oculus for $200.
But I could start streaming and I could get really good.
You could do that with an Oculus too.
But then
And save yourself $600.
you're not wrong. Look, you're not wrong, sir. I just don't want to admit you're right.
Okay.
Resident Evil 4. Did you have thoughts, Tyler?
I think it looks good. Resident Evil 4 is kind of one of the most popular Resident Evils, and so big shoes to step into. But I think they're going to nail it. Like, these remakes have been really good by and large. I think 3 was the only one that really people didn't love. They still liked it.
2 was super popular, wasn't it?
Yes. 2 was really popular. 3 was it was good, not great. But this one looks awesome. I'm very intrigued by it. I will be keeping my eye on it. I know JT, who's in the chat yelling about something, huge Resident Evil fan. He's probably the most knowledgeable Resident Evil friend I have. And I know he's very excited for Resident Evil 4.
RE4, so. I'm ready, sunglasses, cool emoji.
Oh, yeah. No, it'll that one will be very popular when it comes out. There will be a lot of discussion around it.
Yep.
So I'm excited for Resident Evil fans. And for me, who is always tempted to buy them on Black Friday when they're like $15, it's kind of how I played Village. It was like $15 on Black Friday. I was like, give it a shot. Lady Dimitrescu's kind of attractive. And it was a really good game. It was one of my favorite games that year. So
yeah,
that's a game that has a butt.
A butt?
Yeah, like Atomic Heart.
Yes.
But
except
it was in a good way.
So yeah,
guess.
there was that. There was some Street Fighter 6 character announcements. Baldur's Gate 3 releasing in August. And then there was the big one, I guess you'd call it.
It was the big one. It had 15 minutes dedicated to it.
It was like a third of the state of play.
It was like the selling point of
Yeah.
the entire day.
And that was Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. You got some gameplay. You kind of got an overview of the game as a whole. And I'm just going to say this now. If you're here or if you're listening to this and you're really excited for this game, good for you. This next couple of minutes probably not going to be something you want to listen to because none of us really thought it looked good. And maybe
if you think it looked good, tell me why in the comments.
Yeah.
Like,
please.
Chat us up because, look, I'm just not really into these characters in a way that some people love them from comics or from movies. Mm-hmm. And the gameplay, I get it, but I don't need another Destiny in my life. I don't need another thing where I'm, really having to think about... But if you don't, maybe this fills a weird niche. And if that's you, I want to know. I'm curious. I'm just curious. I'm not here to hate on you. None of us are. We're not going to badmouth you. But let's get into our honest opinions on what we thought the presentation was.
Here, I'll start with the positives. I think the cutscene graphics are really good. I think the voice acting is good. And I think the hero designs are cool. That's it.
Yeah, visually it does look pretty good.
Visually in cutscenes. Visually, in gameplay,
sure.
I thought it looked really
different.
bad.
Yeah, different.
So, yeah, this is what I was alluding to earlier. I'm glad I'm kind of glad this didn't look good to me because it's just one less game I have to worry about playing.
It's going to save you $70.
It's going to save me $70. It's going to allow me to spend more time with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom in May. And it's just one less thing I got to worry about in this packed year of 2023. Also, Redfall comes out in May. Starfield's rumored to come out in June. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's just... So this was kind of like a, dang it, I'm upset, but also okay, cool. It's just one less thing I have to worry about.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't look inspired. It doesn't look fun. It doesn't... The thing I keep coming back to is these are all characters who are superheroes or supervillains, and we're reducing them down to aim and shoot.
Yeah.
Rocksteady's known for engaging melee combat. There is none of that here.
Yeah.
This is not that at all.
But King Shark is the melee tank character.
With a minigun.
Above all the buildings.
In paper alone.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that it's interesting in the year of our Lord 2023 where we have so many great unique character-based games that implement really unique mechanics into gameplay. Something like this has kind of just devolved into another shooter.
Yeah.
With
they all just kind of have to have the same. We have to have some kind of movement mechanic so that they can all stay running on top of buildings, mm-hmm. and they all have slightly different weapons. That's how the trailer felt to me. Versus I want to play as King Shark, the guy who runs up and bites a man in half.
Yeah. Here's my second biggest thing. You could take one of the characters from this gameplay, cut everything out, cut them into Fortnite, and it would look no different.
Just in terms of visual,
just the way they look. Yep.
The way they look,
and the way they handle weaponry, all of it.
Well, look, there's probably a Fortnite crossover at some point.
I'm sure.
Well, Harley's already in it.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's just, I don't know. It's just really unfortunate. Rocksteady, was so good for so long with the Arkham series, and then this.
But this is 5 years after Arkham City. It's not at all shoehorned, and definitely not an afterthought that they changed that when they said way back when we're done with the Arkhamverse. and Batman literally died
Yeah.
at the end of that game, and he's back in this one.
It feels like, I don't know. It just doesn't look good to me. I don't want to dump on it too much because there's people who are excited for it. There are people who have worked really hard on this. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to it.
My suggestion is go watch the gameplay from this, and then go watch the gameplay from Crackdown 3.
Yeah.
And just compare and contrast. It's just hilarious.
So that plus some of the game design stuff plus some of the like seasonal battle pass things really does make it feel like a game that was built to be released like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And not that other games aren't doing that now, but I do think we're starting to see a little bit of a burnout when it comes to
100%.
battle passes and seasons and things
When
like that.
battle pass got leaked, I was out immediately.
Yeah. So it does feel like there's, like Tyler said, there are devs who have poured countless passionate hours into this, and it kind of sucks that the general consensus has been negative.
Yeah. It does suck for them. And like in their little, dev suite where they were all talking, I was like, man, these guys really do believe in this game they've made, and it's going to get panned.
Yeah.
I mean, you could feel it. As soon as I started watching it, I was like, oh no.
Well, and it could be one of those things.
I think you had even said like, oh, they're about to feel the pain of the internet on this one. Like it's... Man.
Anytime you attach a well-known, beloved IP to something like that, like if this was
That's in the zeitgeist right now too.
If this was just not DC, not the Suicide Squad, this was its own original thing. A, it would not get enough as much attention, but people may
give it a pass.
Yeah. Maybe like, oh, this was a good idea. This was like fun gameplay. It may not be the best. It might not be the next big thing, but I do think we tend to be a little harsher on large IP properties, just because there tends to be more money thrown at them. So,
and here's the other thing too with this game, and I was actually talking to a friend of the show, Game Lord Master, who's a very busy man these days, but
not as in the chat as he used
to be as often, but he does still keep up with us. I was talking to him about that this weekend because when I went to visit, he was one of the guys I was hanging out with, and we were just kind of talking about games as a whole and like where we are at right now. Like, I think I am doing this weird thing where like multiplayer games just really don't appeal to me right now.
Yeah,
like I just want to play single player stuff. I kind of made a comment about it earlier. I want to play games that I can play at my own pace.
Yeah,
I don't feel like I'm gonna miss things like. With Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, there's a battle pass. You don't complete it, you don't get things. Right? That's why I loved what Halo was trying to implement. Because I could level up any battle pass I want as long as I bought it.
Yep.
Right? Fantastic idea. But it didn't catch on because Halo wasn't good.
Yep.
Right? So I've just kind of moved more, and it's kind of why I fell off of Destiny like all that time ago. Like,
yeah.
I just want to play things that I can play at my own pace. I have a kid. I'm busy.
What?
Like, I just don't have the time to play like I used to, and it's a challenge. And like Luke said, when the Battle Pass thing leaked, I was like, oh, okay, I don't care. And then the gameplay leaked, and I was like, oh, I do care. I don't want to play this.
Yeah.
And that's just unfortunate. But like you said, it feels like something made 3 years ago.
3
years ago, I'd probably been like, oh man, this actually looks fun.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point. I hadn't really thought about that.
I'd agree with the multiplayer thing. The only multiplayer game I play is Destiny, and I play it solo.
Yeah. And I mean, you play a good bit of that too. I mean,
I definitely get my money's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And they gave me a space fish.
Gosh.
Yeah, Tapuka.
But like the only game.
Well, I bought it. They didn't give it to me.
I mean, even like Madden. Like I get Madden, and they have seasons, but like free.
Yeah.
And like I don't do anything with it because it's all on their online stuff. I just play franchise mode. I don't.
Gotta get those Super Bowls.
That's right. The only way I'm going to see Washington win a Super Bowl in my lifetime.
No, man.
But
just
no,
cut
like,
caution wins. You guys are up and up and up and up.
I celebrated and I felt bad. Not really. But no, this just did not look good. It didn't give me any hope for it. I'm very curious where the original Rocksteady people end up and what they do next. I still think, and I will die on this hill, they should make a Ninja Turtle game.
Not if they're just gonna give them all guns, though.
I think they should make an original game. Create something new, make your own world.
My fear would... I wonder how much it would feel like Arkham. No matter what it is.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's
Just
okay.
make an original new story with original characters in a original place. Well, unless it's like on Earth, like you can put it in Atlanta or something. I don't know.
Be cool.
Breath of fresh air, I don't have to play it.
It's also, sorry, I just thought of this. There was somebody made a comment. A lot of video game developers are just making Netflix series disguised as video games now. Did you guys see this? I don't remember who it is.
No.
But I think they were kind of talking about the Last of Us show, and they're how, like, the game is literally just a TV show. And it's, well, it, like, kind of is.
Yeah.
It's strong narrative. Like, the game is 80% narrative, 20% gameplay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
No, that might be an exaggeration. But it's like...
Not much of one.
And, like, now you have God of War, which is, like, strong narrative. It feels like a series. Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima, like, all these games feel like they are series with gameplay mixed in. I feel like it's either that, and he also hasn't realized that it's either that and a game with a battle pass online. On online only, also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. It's like, also, I don't think that's a bad thing if your game is 90% narrative driven.
Yeah, no, I think there have been
better.
some studios, Naughty Dog,
Square Enix?
Well, there have been some studios that have really figured out that there is an audience that's looking for strong narrative in their games.
Sony Santa Monica.
You pair that with then some really good, sometimes it's simple, but it's really good feeling combat or gameplay mechanics, gameplay design, and you've got something that people care about. It's okay for a game to not have a ton of action or not have a super complicated
Same thing
mechanics. It's just where do you feel connected to that story? There are games like the OG Halo. You don't necessarily feel connected to that story because of the story, or that game because of the story. You feel connected because of the world building and the combat, the movement. There's something unique about that. And some developers, I think PlayStation has done a fantastic job of recruiting these teams, putting together these teams that have said, we're going to do this amazing world building. We're going to give you characters and a story that you care about. And then we're going to, I hate to use the word sprinkle because it's not. It's an integral part of the game. But then we're going to give you this gameplay that allows you to enjoy that either in a really difficult manner or a really simple manner. I love the fact that most of these games have like a story mode these days. But yeah, I don't necessarily know if all of these things are just being Netflix series, but
I think you said age.
it's I think it's just an evolutionary step in the gaming industry in how we're telling stories.
Yeah, and I think JT brings up another one that's a good one, like as a reference, Metal Gear. Metal Gear, Death Stranding, like Kojima games are very much like in that.
Those games have the longest cutscenes in the world.
They're very cinematic driven games.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's an interesting thing. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing.
No. Look, there's room for all of them. The problem is when we have these conglomerates and mega corporations that need something to make $16 billion to succeed, then we have a problem. What we need is a nice, healthy AA studio ecosystem where studios can take chances and they can miss on a game, but they can have some really good realizations, and they can either fix it or they can make something new and not just have to walk away and start another Call of Duty studio or whatever it is.
Yep. That's what's been, that's why I love Supergiant so much.
Yeah.
I've talked about Supergiant, over the years. And, like, every game of theirs has the same DNA, but they're also different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Transistor is so different from Bastion.
Yeah.
That's so different from Pyre. That is so different from Hades. Like, they find the things that work.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, how can we build upon this? How can we make this better? What can we... And, like, they were given, because they're an indie studio, they were given that chance.
Yep.
To kind of find what makes them Supergiant.
Mm-hmm.
And, like you're saying here, like, AAA studios don't get that chance.
Yeah.
It's out. If it's not a hit, it bombs, it's gone. You're done. Rocksteady, after this game, if this bombs, how much money have they put into this? How many delays have there been?
Right.
What's next for them?
Yeah.
Are they closing doors? Like, if you read Jason Schreier's books, all signs point to, yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Their leaders left. Their game doesn't look good. What does that mean?
Scary times.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate, but that's the world of video game making.
There's definitely...
They're so fun for us. They're not fun for the people who make them.
No. And being in the world we are, the hand that has been dealt.
Yep.
We live in this time where Microsoft is attempting to acquire Activision Blizzard. Sony is bought Bungie. I think what needs to happen, and the people in charge just need to realize this, because I'm so smart. Look at me, I'm solving all the problems over here.
You got it.
Well,
I believe in you.
I love the aftermath. This will be a little weird. Stay with me though. I love the aftermath of what happened with No Man's Sky.
Yes.
No Man's Sky got a lot of financial support from PlayStation shortly before launch. The game launched, it was not in a great place, but because of that support, they have been able to do like 6 years of free updates to that game. It is phenomenal, and that would not have happened. It would have been a cute little indie game that would have sold some copies. It would have gotten a little bit of hype for what it is, because what it was doing, but it would have existed as it was.
Yep.
And they would have gone and made the next thing. And they've made other games.
Yeah.
But they've been able to continually support No Man's Sky. Bungie and Sony, I think, have a very similar kind of relationship where, despite the fact that Sony now owns Bungie, they are able to publish outside of just the PlayStation brand. So these big, Microsoft, Sony, Ubisoft, like, they need to make publishing deals with indies to support them, but not just buy them.
You know who's doing, and I'm glad you said that, who's doing a great job of this? And say what you will, EA. With their EA Originals line.
Yeah.
They help support smaller... Wild Hearts. Wildly successful right now. It's an EA original made by a AA team.
Yeah. Private Division and Take-Two.
Yeah.
Like, similar thing.
Yep. The EA Originals spawned It Takes Two, Wild Hearts, a lot of little games that people love. It Takes Two won Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Support these smaller studios. Let them take chances on things. Get good games out of it.
Yep.
So, unfortunately. Are you still trying to find it?
I was trying to find it. I think it was somebody at Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Said, like, people don't make games anymore. They just make HBO Max series, I think is what they said.
It's funny coming from Nintendo, who just makes the same game over and over.
The same
and over
family
again.
game, yeah.
With a complete lack of story.
Yeah.
Great games, though.
Yeah, fun games, for sure.
But no, State of Play. I mean, there was also a Pokemon Presents today. Because today's Pokemon Day.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, if you're watching this right now live, it's Pokemon Day. If you're listening later, it's February 27th. They revealed the DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. First installment comes out in the fall. The next comes out in the winter. No hard dates yet. Announced some updates for some of their free games, as well as a new show with Netflix, stop motion show. So I know Luke's really excited for that.
Wait, what?
They announced a stop motion show, Pokemon show with Netflix.
Ugh,
Called
two things I hate.
Pokemon Concierge. They described it as White Lotus meets Pokemon, which is
Lord.
very strange. They also had a weird little like a live Pikachu that would like go Pika Pika like and would talk and move next to the guy talking.
Unsettling.
It was strange. But no, it was it was fine. The biggest thing with these state of plays, these Pokemon Presents, these Nintendo Directs, they just always people get it in their head that there's going to be this giant reveal or this big thing, and then people are disappointed. And that's like the big leak for this one was they're going to announce Pokemon Black and White remakes for the Switch. So everybody's like, oh, no, you gotta get these, and then they don't announce it, and they're like, oh, no classic games. It's like, dude, that's
not what these are for.
That's not this. Like, relax. But it's just interesting. I don't know. Data plays, all that stuff. Just weird place to be. That's the last of my news stories.
Okay. Luke, I know you had talked about...
I have one more news story.
You do?
Yeah.
All right.
And it's really unfortunate because I should have mentioned this last week and I didn't. But it's just that there's no update on Twisters.
Oh.
Helen Hunt is not in the sequel yet.
How much money do we have to put together?
I'd say $100 million is what she deserves.
It's what she deserves.
It's what she deserves.
What did we put together?
Oh, $0.
JT saw the quote too that you're talking about.
It was from Mario.
It was Mario's creator. Okay, I'm glad I'm not crazy. Thank you, JT.
All right. Well, no Helen Hunt yet.
Ridiculous.
We'll get her eventually. It sounds like we're hunting her, and that's not.
No.
We
just
want
her to be
for
in
the
movie. Yeah.
Be in the movie. Casting. We need to figure out who the casting director is and
Let's give them a call.
Send them a strongly worded letter.
Yeah.
I'm mailing a letter. I ain't calling.
From Karen.
I'm a millennial.
From Karen.
I'm afraid of phone calls, Tyler.
Oh, I'm not. Why are you afraid of phone calls?
It's a millennial thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
You like talking on the phone?
No, but I'm not afraid to make a phone call if I need to. I do whatever gets what I need to get done.
Oh, I will send 5 emails before I make one dial on the keypad.
This does not surprise me that there's this much difference between the two of you.
F that phone, man. Even if you call me, I'd be like...
So
start that letter with, this is strongly written.
As we roll into our weekly recap here, I will just go first. I had a fantastic week, extended weekend away from the house, and just my wife and I took our 10-year anniversary vacation to the Grand Canyon. The first time either of us had been to the Grand Canyon. We took a train, 19 hours.
Ooh.
That's a little, you can't see it if you're listening, but there's a frowny face there. Too long on a train. 19 hours is too long to be on a train. I stand by that statement.
What if you got to drive the train?
I wrote. I did a lot of writing.
Okay.
Went up to the observation car where there were some tables and tickety tapped my way through a script.
Nice. Very cool.
Grand Canyon is beautiful though. Oh my gosh.
Was it grand?
It was grander than grand.
Was it a canyon?
It was. I think by definition it was a canyon.
Okay.
I've
heard. I just wanted to
going in February, I guess there's a very high chance of snow. So we had snow when we were there. Made hiking a little more difficult. You have to be a little more careful.
Yeah.
A lot more careful. But it is gorgeous. It is beautiful, and definitely recommend going and visiting the Grand Canyon to anyone.
Nice. I'll go second, just because I didn't do a whole lot, because I also went out of town. We're
travelers. We
kind of made an impromptu trip down to Oklahoma City and I say it's impromptu just because it wasn't finalized until like 2 days before, because we weren't 100% sure it was going to work out. But it did. We went down to Oklahoma City. We have some friends that all 3 of us had kids at the exact same time, it feels like. So they all got together. It was really fun getting to see them interact. You know, last time they saw each other, they were much younger. So it was just really, really cool. And then I did do something a couple weeks ago that we haven't had time to mention. After the James Gunn announcement for DC, I re-signed up for DC Universe. I accidentally forgot to cancel it, so I paid for a year of it. So now I have a year of DC Universe. So I'm just, reading some comic books. And one of the things they've done is they've curated a list of comics based on the announcements for the Chapter 1 of the DCU moving forward, which is really cool. It's cool that they're kind of in sync that way. So I read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, written by Tom Taylor. If you're familiar with his work, it's really good, generally. And this is no different. I give it fanboy worthy. Really enjoyed it. Really different kind of story for Supergirl. It's her birthday, and so she goes to a planet with a red sun so she can get drunk and kind of just go do her own thing. And she gets tied up in this kind of this revenge plot with this young girl whose dad was killed by this man, and she tries to help her. And the ending was way different than what I expected it to be.
It was all a dream.
I totally understand why James Gunn is interested in this. It fits right in line with what James likes to do from a style standpoint, and I will be very interested in how much or how accurate this adaptation is, because I have a feeling the ending will probably rub some people the wrong way.
Is it similar to the end of the Mr. Miracle?
No.
We were like, oh.
No, it's nothing like that. I think that one's Tom King.
Yeah.
So, no, it's not like that. That one, I think people would love that ending. Like, if they'd be like, because it makes you go, wait a minute. It has a little Sixth Sense feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
This one is not that. It's just, I'll talk to you about it after. But it's really good. I highly recommend it. The art's really cool. Really busy, but it looks awesome. And playing Octopath Traveler 2, playing Hogwarts Legacy, and also reading another novel. I started a novel called Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, famous for writing, I think it's Shadow and Bone.
Oh.
It's her first kind of foray into adult books, because
Mm-hmm.
she's been a YA author. And it's interesting. It's about the hidden kind of societies at Yale, so like Skull and Bones, and they practice magic. And there's this group of people that they're called Lathe.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah, like the Illuminati and all that stuff. It's all tied to that.
No, the Ubisoft pirate masterpiece.
That's got a comic book coming out. Did you see that? So no, like they, there's this group of people. They're called Lathe, and they kind of monitor the societies to make sure they're practicing magic in a safe way. Because if they use it the wrong way, they'll tear through the veil. Ed will be able to come back.
It's confusing.
And demons and stuff. So that's the criticism on it, is it's confusing. But I will say, having read a little bit of it, I'm about 100 pages in. It's not very confusing at all. It's very interesting.
Cool.
Very curious. It starts with a map. Always a safe bet that the book's probably going to be good if there's a map.
Yes, love maps.
So yeah, that's the map is just the Yale campus map. Which
I'm gonna start.
Insane. It's awesome.
I think we should adopt that policy into our movies, and we should start every movie we make with a map.
Dude,
but only if it's good.
That's the thing.
No, it's gonna make it good.
It has to be good.
And the map makes it good. There is a map over there.
But no, that's it. That's all I'm doing, man. Just that and hanging out with my kiddo.
Cool. Luke, what'd you do?
I mentioned it earlier. I watched season 1 of Perry Mason. The season 2 trailer came out last week or something, and Brett talked about it, and I was like, man, I guess I should watch that before season 2 comes out so I can be caught up.
If you were to decide you were going to watch it or not.
I knew I was going to watch it.
Okay. I thought you were saying like you weren't sure, so you figured you'd give it a shot.
It's a detective it's a lawyer mystery, but I guess there's detectives in it, it's a mystery. I'm a huge fan of Matthew Rice.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fantastic actor. I was not aware, though, that it was 1932 L.A. noir, like, hardcore.
Yeah,
like,
man.
they got the trumpets and the saxophones.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! I just don't know if I can do this anymore. This town's too evil. It's like, oh, yeah. Here we go. It is a fantastic show. If you got HBO Max, I think you should definitely check it out. Fantastic acting. I just mentioned Matthew Rice. He's awesome. But I think the show is elevated a lot by the people he also got around him.
Mm-hmm.
Which here, let me bring up the 3 people he's really with the most. Shea Wigham, I don't think I said that right, who plays Pete Strickland.
Shay.
Yeah, that probably makes more sense.
Yeah.
Shay. Juliet Rylance, who plays Della Street, and Chris Chalk, who plays Paul Drake. Just awesome. Also, whoever plays Detective Ennis, super creepy. Oh, I have his name right here. I shouldn't leave him out. That'd be rude of me. Andrew Howard. He was awesome. Tatiana Maslany. I was trying to figure out who she was the entire show. It's like, I know who this actress is. I've seen her before. And she got on IMDb, and I was like, oh my gosh. It's Tatiana Maslany. I should have figured that out. I'd say my only 2 complaints I have with it are the DA I found very annoying. Which might just be a personal preference of acting thing. That's extremely subjective, I guess. But and the other thing is, I kind of talked this a while back when we were talking about like how would you do your mystery or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fan box question. My answer was I just don't want to know more than the people investigating.
Right.
And unfortunately, you know who a lot of the bad guys are throughout the entire show.
Yeah.
And I wish they could have held off on that at least for a while. It's in episode 2, you're like, oh, you're a bad guy.
Right.
And it's just like, okay. Their performance is fantastic, though. Very excited for season 2. I'd give it a fanboy worthy.
Nice.
Do you remember what you gave it?
I can look it up real quick. Probably a fanboy worthy, but I wouldn't be surprised if I threw it up as there as a. Oh.
It's really well made.
That was 2020, I think.
Yeah.
Perry Mason, season 1, fanboy worthy. Yep.
Nice. Yeah. Check it out. It is really good. I started another show this week too. Because I finished Perry Mason. And I got on Apple TV Plus, and I was like, oh, I should keep watching For All Mankind because seasons for that keep coming out, and I'm way behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like about to start it, and then I saw Foundation was sitting there, and I was like, I should watch Foundation.
I'm very curious what you have to think about Foundation.
Listen, I'm watching For All Mankind now because Foundation is bad. It's a bad show. I don't remember what you said about it, but all I know is I finished the first episode, and I was just like, wow, that might be some of the worst acting I've ever seen. Just atrocious.
Who's in it?
The only person that's good in it is Jared Harris. And if he's not on the screen, I just didn't care. And it stinks because it's so hard to pay attention to the show, and it is so confusing. It is probably some of the worst world building in a giant sci-fi world I've ever seen.
It's really complicated. The show does a lot of trying to kind of explain things.
It does a lot of telling and zero showing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that the pace is faster than a booster rocket on Apollo 11.
So I want you to watch episode
I've watched the first 3.
Oh, okay. At what point does it because there's like a whiplash moment where it slows way the down. I feel like that was like maybe 3, 2 or 3. I thought it was pretty quick.
Episode 3 is all on Terminus.
Lee Pace is in.
Yeah, he's terrible. He's just doing this the whole time and talking about how he's Empire or whatever. Just didn't care.
Yeah.
It's like, I've seen you do this role like 8 times now, buddy.
Definitely feels like he's typecast a bit there.
No, episode 3 is all on Terminus, and you follow the girl who can go up to the vault and not be affected.
Yeah.
And at the very end, the Akrinacons show up, or whatever. Episodes 1 and 2... Oh my gosh, dude. In freaking episode 2, they're on the ship and they're leaving. All of a sudden, 2 characters in love. She's immediately pregnant. And then... Oh, I don't want to spoil stuff. Somebody dies out of nowhere. And it's just like, are we serious right now?
It is. It's completely out of nowhere.
And then episode 3 is with all new characters. And it's just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. This is bad storytelling. And then, oh my gosh, the thing that annoyed me the most about it was they're like, we can predict the future with math. Oh, really? How do you do that? I've got this. Anyway, let's go. And it's just like, you don't want to go more into that? And like, Jared Harris is a math wizard and can predict the future. The girl you follow in the first 2 episodes also can do it. And she's a math wizard. And she solved a problem. And it's like, oh, wow, you can do this. And the only time they ever, like, talk about the math problem, they hold a little engram, a planet pops out of it, and they're just like, oh my gosh. That's it. It's like, no, why don't you go into that a little bit more? Why don't you take your time and explain how you used history to do math to predict that in 5,000 years, the end of the world is coming. Also, whoop-de-doo. 5,000 years? Oh my gosh. Like that, oh, it's so stupid. I bet the books are great, but I finished episode 3, I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever watched. If I'm going to watch a sci-fi, I'm either going to go into rewatch Dune, which explains this world beautifully, or I'm going to watch The Expanse, or Battlestar Galactica, which are just like, here's our world. It makes sense. Here's the rules. This is just like, we're clones. Like, okay, you want to explain that a little bit more? Oh, it's so sorry. I'm raging hard. This show sucks. It sucks. Gorgeous though. Beautiful CGI. They did great on that.
I also really like the soundtrack to Bear
McCreary. Great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack.
The best part of the entire show is the opening credits and the final credits. Because you see cool stuff with great music.
Yeah.
There's no storytelling that makes no sense. You can just look at cool pictures and listen to cool music. It's like, all right.
Do you want me to read Foundation and tell you if it's good?
No.
Because I have it.
Here's the deal. The book and the book series, because there's a series of them, take place again, over tens of thousands. They don't have characters that are recurring, and so most of these characters are invented for the point of attempting to give this like a followable plot.
I got onto Rotten Tomatoes.
I keep raging.
I got onto Rotten Tomatoes to look at like what people say about this, and from what I gathered, critics are like, this is kind of interesting. It has a positive review score. Does not have good audience score.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
And people are like, what the freaking crap is this? Because it's not the book I read.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They're just like, none of these characters are even a thing. Or, this is not what the book is.
I don't know how, this is one of those books where I don't know how you go into it expecting a faithful adaptation of the book, because it would be even worse than this. This is attempting to take those big concepts that Asimov has and like funnel them into some characters and some story in a world that he created. And I think it does an okay job of that by the end of the first season. But I would agree with you. I think that there's it's really poor writing, especially for a show of this budget. I think Lee Pace is fine. Kind of the point of his character is that he's a weird clone who just does the same thing over and over again. So that performance didn't bug me that much, but there are some other ones that are like, ugh. And yeah, Jared Harris, after watching him in Chernobyl, you're just like, I know he can explain things. He explained how a nuclear reactor worked, but magic globe.
I know
magic globe ball.
This is we're always randomly talking about Chernobyl in all of our things, and it might be one of my favorite scenes ever in Chernobyl. Just the courtroom scene where it's just like, I'm literally gonna explain this to you like you're 5, and you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
And the scene finishes, you're just like, I think I could do that job. It's the most unbelievable scene.
Yeah.
Please watch Chernobyl. If you have HBO Max, please watch Chernobyl. It's so good. It is really hard to watch, but it is so good.
Yep.
Foundation is garbage. If you want to watch a sci-fi, please watch The Expanse. I know it's like maybe you don't have Amazon because you're on Apple TV Plus, sorry. But The Expanse is great.
I need to get into The Expanse.
I do too. I added it to my list and almost started it a couple weeks ago.
It is so good. And then there's always Battlestar Galactica, which is classic.
Yeah.
So.
You had your opportunity to rant. Was there anything else that you did that you enjoyed that you want to talk about?
Hey.
The answer can be no. You don't have to keep talking, Luke.
I mean, something I do enjoy is I enjoy the grind for Destiny.
Oh, good lord. Okay, well...
And I did a lot of bounty hunting and getting a lot of XP ready for the next... Oh, I figured you were just going to run to me and keep going. But if you're not going to stop me, I got like 58 bounties
jump
lined up.
in there. So I can't wait to hear more about Destiny next week after you've actually played it. New expansion a little bit.
I'm excited.
Next week's going to be a big one. We're going to probably have a couple different reviews to talk about, as well as Destiny. So thank you for listening this week. Thank you for watching, hanging out with us in the chat over here on Twitch, live Monday nights, 8 p.m. Central Time.
Keep raging, my guy. Keep raging.
Until next week, we'll see you guys.
Goodbye.